Hello.
No intro this week. We're just going straight into it.
We had a moment of silence for the last few weeks that we were missing.
Yeah, it was the death of the podcast, but we've been revived after a couple. We came back quicker than Jesus, his second coming. So
We got some funds. Our moms paid our our internet bill so we could actually go online.
we can upload.
Yes.
We can record and upload, and we can look up what's going on in the world, which a lot is going on in the world. Okay, so I wanted to start with the boring stuff.
Ooh.
Talking soccer. I don't know. I'd say it's boring. It's my favorite sport, but it's been an interesting start. The MLS is like about 3 weeks in. The Sounders have played 2 games. Got taken out of Champions League by Chivas de Guadalajara, which is a team I hate. The guys are in bad form. But I don't think they've scored a goal in season play at all. No, and then they got their ass kicked by LAFC, and LAFC is now looking like a top contender team. Like they're looking like an exciting fucking team.
And they're an expansion team, right?
Yep. This is the first year in the league, and they're kicking ass. They beat Seattle 1-0, and then they beat the crap out of I want to say it was RSL. Mm-hmm. I think it was like 4-1 or something like that. And I'm not sure what their score was for this weekend, but now the Sounders are in bad form, and I think it's injury without like chemistry as well. So it's just a factor of a whole bunch of little things.
Yeah, you got like a lot of new names. You got people you haven't played with, and it's the start of a season.
Yeah, and it's not just like new names; it's like young guys. So like they put forth effort to sign big players. A lot of those guys are hurt, and so a lot of the new names coming in are younger guys, and their experience just like it's showing. Their composure's not there. They're not as calm. They're not as quick. They're not as confident. This game was today was brutal against Dallas, 3-0. It was tough to watch, and that was like our main back line. But our midfield, we have no midfield. Nico's still injured. Dempsey got a red card. Ozzy Alonso is hurt, and he's kind of like, I hate to admit it, but that guy's like the heart of the team. Like,
yeah,
like when he's out there, they just play better. And he's been hurt. He'll be back, I think, by the end of the month. So we'll see having him back. And then we signed Victor Rodriguez last year, and I swear that's the guy I've seen play the least. He's just kind of always been hurt. So I'm curious on how much longer we'll have him. And if he's like either injury prone or if there's more to like his injury, because I feel like he's been hurt for a long time. So yeah, their Sounders are just getting banged up, and they're in bad shape. Portland just sucks. Leave it at that.
I like how you had to bring in Portland.
And in the talk of soccer, before the podcast went on, I finished a soccer match today after I had a couple drinks. Because I didn't know I had a soccer match till I was a couple drinks in at the bar, and my body hurts. It wasn't hurting when everything was numb. I was the best fucking goalkeeper out there.
So here's a PSA to you young boys and girls. Don't drink and do physical activities. You could drink if you want. Just don't do anything afterwards.
Yep. Unless you're running away from the cops.
Unless you're driving. You could drive.
You can drive, crash on a pole, and run away. Because if they find the vehicle, but they don't find you, technically it's not a DUI. You might get a big-ass fine.
Just don't play sports.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to tell you.
I'm telling you how to get around shit with the law now. It's not good. So that's, I mean, do you have anything else on MLS? I mean, like I said, it's early in the season, so I don't want to get too deep into it.
Yeah, it's pretty early. I haven't really watched any of the games. I saw about 20 minutes of a match last week, and that's pretty much
those 20
minutes. My MLS experience of the season so far.
Just be happy that they've only taken 20 minutes of your life, because they've got 180 of mine so far, and it's brutal. It is brutal. Sticking with sports, but now in sports entertainment, I just realized my microphone's pointed really weird. But WWE Fast Lane was last weekend.
The last pay-per-view for SmackDown exclusive or any exclusive brand.
Oh, is it the send off for the
Yeah.
exclusivity?
Yeah.
That's good.
The rest after Mania, all the pay-per-views, they're going to be dual branded.
Um, I only watched like basically the main event. Um, wasn't there a women's title defense as well
There was.
with Charlotte, right? Because okay, so that was done pretty. Actually,
Oh
now
yeah,
that I
that was.
remember, I didn't watch it, but I watched the end of it.
Yeah, I skipped through that one because that one I didn't really care for because I knew Charlotte was probably going to retain the title against Ruby Riott, who I liked in NXT. She was pretty cool, but they have her as a heel in SmackDown. But the first match started with the U.S. champion. No, actually, it started with Nakamura versus Rusev.
That was the.
That's the opening match, and it was a fairly good match. It was, I want to say, like a 15-minute match. There was nothing on the line. It was just a normal singles match. Rusev, he's pretty much over right now in the universe.
Yeah, I since I've been keeping up less with it, I keep seeing Rusev Day, and I don't know what the heck's going on, but I mean it's hot.
It's over. It's that, and even in Ring of Honor, they were chanting Rusev Day.
Oh shit!
During the match, so that's how good it's going right now. And so, and which is crazy is Rusev doesn't have a match for Mania. Like he's underutilized. Story of WWE's,
Oh yeah, that's
wrestlers.
What they do. Yeah.
But Rusev, he's like one of the pretty hot names right now. He's been in the WWE for a minute, and he's a great fighter. A wrestler. He was pretty. What was he? The United States champion for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a good few runs, but they just haven't really pushed him lately. And so, like I said, that first match was a solid match. There was nothing on the line, so it was pretty safe. But there's a few good high spots and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then the next match was the United States Championship with the glorious Bobby Roode and Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, yeah. I didn't watch it, but
I watched that one. That was a good match. It was pretty fun.
I was surprised that Orton took the title, but also not surprised, because I guess I didn't know. I thought he had held the U.S. title before, but apparently he hasn't.
Yeah,
that's like new around his waist, and now he's entered part of a club of guys that got all these titles. So he was, they were showing that off.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost weird because now Rude doesn't have it. And I was kind of thinking, does this mean Rude is going to get a little push, and they're going to kind of see how it goes after Mania?
Yeah, they have him. It's supposed to be a triple threat match with them two and Ginger.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger Mahal. Ginger. But if I know you haven't really been watching, but you can kind of see small little hints of Bobby Roode turning heelish in a way because the week before he kind of turned on Orton, but he was great in NXT as a heel.
Is he face on
SmackDown? He's been a face since his call up, and everybody's hated him as a face.
Yeah,
they'd rather see him as a heel.
He's a really good heel. He's got that entrance. Like his entrance is even better as a heel because you can't help. Because you're just like, fuck, man. Damn it. I'm singing along this fucking entrance.
God damn it, I like it.
But he's actually, just in general, he's a good heel.
Yeah, he's a good heel. I'm not a big fan of him. I think he's too old. And
that's my biggest kind of concern is the fact that he is older.
Like, if you push him, you can only push him for so long. And then after that,
he might have like a run that goes a few months. And then after that, you probably have to put him back down in the U.S. kind of picture. But yeah, his age, he's like in his mid to late 30s, right?
Almost. I want to say he's like 37, 38. Like that's how as far as he is, I think so. But yeah, so that was a good match. And then you had the tag match with the Usos and New Day. And the Usos, they're really good as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably one of the best ones right now. SmackDown has a good tag team division. And so that match was good. I don't know if you saw that one.
No, I didn't. I literally just watched the main event and the end of the women's.
I think that was a short match because during the match they were trading off like each other's signature moves.
Oh, okay.
So the Usos would be doing the New Day moves, and then The New Day would do the Usos, and then the Bludgeon Brothers came out and just attacked them all. And they're finally getting that big push.
Was it like a no contest kind of? They came in and stopped
They
everything?
came in and they stopped the fight, yeah. So that's going to set up something maybe for Mania.
Yeah, I can see it.
But, so it was a short match. Even though it was short, it was pretty good. They played it safe, keeping the Usos the title still for Mania. What else? I think they had a women's tag match, which was another singles, nothing going for match, which was skippable. I didn't watch
kind of bathroom break filler.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
And then women's championship, Charlotte versus Ruby Riott, which we kind of said earlier. It was nothing really to watch for.
No, it wasn't until after the match was over where Asuka came out.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And I thought that was done really kind of well. I will say kind of well, because when she came out, everyone knew why she came out. It was obvious that she was going to choose Charlotte for her Mania deal. What I didn't like was she came in and she took off her mask and her wrestling gear like she was ready to fucking go.
But she does not lay a hand on her.
No, exactly. She just points to Mania and then leaves. And in my head, I'm just like, you just left your coat like ringside.
Couldn't you wear your outside attire? Showed up in some jeans and a t-shirt, and you're like, Mania.
And that was it. Yeah, so I thought that was done pretty cool, though, because, like, as soon as the match was over, like, boom, music came on, Asuka came in dancing, people knew why she was there. She always does good as far as, like, getting a good pop. And then pointed to Mania, people got excited, another nice little pop there, and she walked out. And that was easy money.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was, for me, that was simple, to the point. She didn't have to say anything, and did the infamous Ronda Rousey point, and then just walk out.
I have a little fantasy scenario.
Oh, geez. Is it
this
something
is
you can
dirty.
share on the podcast? Okay.
Yeah, no, this is not dirty. This is women's title. So, before I get to the scenario, Asuka won the Rumble, so she had the choice of fighting whoever she wanted at Mania. She was guaranteed a title shot, right?
Right.
Well, Ronda Rousey jumps in, takes her stance or whatever, and so Asuka never got her chance to tell her who she's gonna challenge, right?
Yeah.
Weeks go by, nothing, and everybody just assumed that she was gonna go after Alexa Bliss, who's a Raw's title.
Kind of like an easy target.
So everybody thought that was gonna happen, blah blah blah, and finally this gets pushed after 2 months in the making.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So yeah, I kind of feel bad for Asuka because she did win the Rumble. You would think that she would have her grand ceremony, but she kind of didn't get a ceremony.
Yeah, and there's no fireworks, no fancy pyro, no pyro, so no fancy light show.
Yeah, you would think like you get like a contract signings and whatnot. Now you're gonna wait till after this week to get something.
Yeah, all focus was shifted to Ronda, and I'm glad they're not giving her too much time on the microphone. I think they're very careful with that because they know she's a bit rusty, and even like her overselling her happy smile. Like, I'm just like, whoa, let's bring it down a couple. Yeah, she's like just a little too excited. She'll get the hang of it though.
Yeah, she did better the second time around when she had her other promo on Raw. But anyways, going back to my scenario.
Okay.
So you have Asuka, who's the undefeated, the longest reigning wrestler without a loss, right? She's never lost. And she's going to go against Charlotte. And so they have a fight. Do you think Charlotte is going to be the one to take that streak away? Will that streak be broken by Charlotte?
I can see it being Charlotte.
Now, if Charlotte doesn't break the streak, remember, Carmella still has the Money in the Bank.
Oh, man.
What if she cashes in and ends the streak? Who would you rather end the streak, Carmella or Charlotte?
For the sake of pissing a lot of people off, if Carmella breaks the streak,
I think so too, and I think it's like Vince McMahon's like shitting on people.
That is like something very Vinnie Mac to do. But you know what? He is the one that created this streak. He's the one allowing the streak, so he can do whatever the hell he wants with it.
Yeah.
But if he does that, that is for sure gonna piss
it's the ultimate troll.
A lot of people off. If it happens that way, I kind of like that. I think that might happen.
That's what I was thinking, and I wouldn't mind Carmella doing it, just for the fact that I know it's gonna troll a lot of people,
Yeah.
And I don't mind Carmella as a wrestler. She's not a bad wrestler. There's far worse wrestlers out there. Charlotte as well. She's really good. But I'd want to see that money.
I didn't realize. Well, Charlotte is interesting because she didn't start her career until after. What is it? Not David Flair, but the other Flair.
The brother that died.
Yeah, the one that died. Charlotte didn't start wrestling until after the son died.
The brother, yeah.
Or the brother. Because that was like his passion. And somehow in all that, I think she said that she wanted to carry out his legacy or his dream. And she's doing it, but she's also doing it like naturally. Like she just kind of looks
she's
like
really good. Yeah,
yeah. She looks the part, and she kind of just really came into her own really well. I can see it being Charlotte that breaks the streak, but at the same time, the troll of
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that'd be interesting
because he's the one who broke the streak for Undertaker.
Hey man, Undertaker had a concussion. And he didn't know where he was, and he couldn't kick
supposedly.
out.
Supposedly, there is like talk that was a work, and I watched a video of it earlier, but I wasn't really paying attention, so I can't really get into it without getting into more details of like watching the videos and stuff. But like Paul Heyman was cutting something at a live event, talking to fans, had a talk,
Yeah.
And apparently it was a work that it was all... I don't know if it was I don't remember how it went. But I was watching the video earlier. So it's kind of interesting to finally hear about that now. After a few years of letting that settle. But,
I think the streak was going to be broken. And I don't know if Brock was the guy to do it. I mean, fuck. If they would have had Roman do it. That would have been... Yeah, that would have been some crazy shit.
I don't think Roman would ever recover from that.
Yeah, but it's almost like Lesnar was the safest guy to do it because I mean, how the fuck is Taker going to take on Lesnar? It was more realistic to happen that way. Man, I'm trying to figure out if Roman would have done it. That would have been.
I think Roman's career would have probably been ended. But anyways, speaking of the Undertaker, segue. You know how John Cena doesn't have a match?
Yeah.
He's been fighting at every pay-per-view from both brands, trying to get a spot in the Mania. That's a big storyline. And last month, he challenged Undertaker to a fight, and then he goes, well, that's not going to happen, because Undertaker will never fight. He's retired. And then this last Monday or Tuesday, he goes on and officially challenges Undertaker to a match.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's talk that there might be the American Badass Undertaker showing up to that one.
So an alter ego kind of.
Where because you know how he I have the air quotes here, retired his dead man gimmick.
Okay.
And there's talk that he could come back as the American Badass.
Have that be retired too. Okay.
This might tie into it. Kid Rock is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I don't like it at all. But he did the American Badass theme for Taker. So obviously Kid Rock's going to be at the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Could he perform the American Badass song live for Taker to come out to?
I hope not. The less Kid Rock, the better. But that makes kind of sense, and that's very interesting. Short hair. Actually, that would probably fit his personality right now. I think American Badass is probably the Taker right now. I think the dead man is officially dead.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of accept that.
Okay, so would you rather have John Cena be John Cena now or Thugonomics John Cena?
Jeez, I'd rather him when he first came in wearing his tight fucking
jorts.
Yeah.
And the freaking
little spiked hair.
The chain
padlock.
Remember that?
This was before that, man. Before he started doing his rap thing.
Oh yeah, he
came in and he wore like these really tight kind
Isn't
of
it black and
tights.
Red? Black and red or something like that?
Kind of. Yeah, he had two-tone tights and then he kind of spiked his hair up. I remember seeing him Velocity. Like I said, I remember seeing him before he did his gimmick. And if I remember correctly, his Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick started, I think, on a Halloween episode of SmackDown or Raw, if I remember correctly. Because I remember that's the first time I saw him rap, and I think that just stuck for some weird reason, and he kept rapping. And he was a heel.
Yeah,
And boy, was he a heel. Like,
yeah.
he'd do his little little rap thing when they were horrible, but it worked. He was annoying.
Remember, he dropped a CD. He dropped an actual album
Yeah.
of his rap music.
So, that was him way back in the day. And now, then he turned face, and then people hated him even more. So, but, Doctor of Thugonomics versus American Badass. The two music genres. You know, I take that. I take that. Hip hop versus rock.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting, to see that happen. I'd want to see it happen. Taker's still got a little left.
I think he has one.
Especially if he goes as American Badass, actually leave the dead man alone and let it rest.
Comes out on a bike. Yeah, that'd be. I mean, like I said, I would accept that version of Taker for sure. I wouldn't be too upset. As long as I feel like at this point I'm cool with Taker just being retired, just for the sake of like his body, because I know the dude is like just banged up over the years.
Oh yeah, he's
pretty
brittle.
Bad.
And so it goes back to the final match.
Oh, that's right.
Everyone versus AJ Styles.
I think was that okay.
So it started off as a triple threat, I believe.
I was trying to remember. Did people get in like after a certain time, or was it like elimination?
No. It was they all got in at the same time.
Okay.
It was like a fatal 5-way. It's a fatal 6-way, pretty much.
It was, if I remember correctly, it was actually a pretty well done match.
It was not too bad.
It was entertaining. It was good.
The way they did it was it actually worked really good, and started off with John Cena who submitted his name in to make it a fatal 7 or fatal 6-way, and in his quest of trying to get to Mania and try to win the championship for the 17th time. So he starts off giving everybody the AA. And,
okay.
Which is kind of smart, I get it. And then everybody's coming back in. They throw AJ Styles through a table, so he's out. They play it safe for him, he'll come in at the end.
Yep.
And they still have the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon little beef that's been culminating for about a year now.
That was kind of interesting. I almost don't want to see that at Mania, even though it's going to happen.
What kind of gave it away was Shane McMahon was
at ringside for no apparent reason.
So you're like, okay, something's gonna happen with Shane McMahon.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of gave it away. Anyways, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they kind of turned on each other last week, and so they were fighting, and eventually one of them bumps into Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon takes offense. And Kevin Owens was the first one to try to get a clean,
the
1, 2, 3,
yeah.
And he was about to get that third, 1, 2, 3, and then Shane pulls the ref off, and next Sami Zayn, he's about to get the clean pin, and then same what happens there. Shane interrupts, and so they both get mad at him. And then AJ Styles comes back with a phenomenal forearm, and boom, keeps the title.
Who did he do it to? Was it Ziggler?
He did it to, I want to say Kevin Owens.
I think so. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
Because he gives John Cena the power bomb, and then Ziggler comes for the zigzag.
Ziggler, he does his finish or he does a kick.
I think it's either the zigzag or the famouser. I can't remember which one he does. And then there goes AJ Styles. I think it might be Dolph Ziggler who takes the pin. Actually, you're right.
I feel like, man, they really need to give Ziggler a push, man. And you know what's interesting is he came in with the little no music, but then his music came on.
Yeah, he had this gimmick. It started last year. At the end, it was only the people with fancy entrances are getting pushes, and he's talking about not using a gimmick to win things. So he first came out with no music at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and he would have a no gimmick wrestling, but eventually it was a gimmick,
Yeah.
But there was big talks of him leaving WWE. His contract was up. Ziggler was going nowhere. He was going to leave. And then supposedly the last hour, they got him to sign to a contract for 2 years. And it's pretty much where he could wrestle, and then when he's done with his match, he could leave the arena and do his stand up because he's into the comedy right now.
Really?
Yeah,
I know he dated like Amy Schumer a few years ago.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a weird fact because Amy Schumer used to do a bit where she said she was dating a wrestler, and that she said she felt like a rag doll because he'd just toss her around or whatever. Anyway, the wrestler was Dolph Ziggler.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't really get into the Amy Schumer bit.
I with me is I give comedians a shot, and I gave her a shot, and I thought she was all right. But then, like most people, I mean, you can stop talking about your vagina so much. Yeah, but yeah, that's I guess that makes sense with Ziggler and his comedy thing.
But yeah, so it gives him, it gives him his projects to do. Meanwhile, still doing with WWE, so he's happily willing to put people over now.
Yeah.
So it's good for him. I mean, he had a really good run 2-3 years ago.
I think
with the IC title.
I think he should have just gone to New Japan and
that's where it's at.
And done some big stuff over. I felt like he would be utilized actually pretty good over there, and I would assume he would be over there after he just hangs out for a month. I think people would like him. They know who he is already,
and he has that kind of wrestling.
He can adjust to the wrestling style over there, where he can put together a good match with, I think, all the guys over there.
Yeah, I think he'd probably be good, like you said. That's a good move, but I think he wanted to play it safe by still, doing big cities and doing whatever he wants. It'll help promote himself as well.
Yeah, he can stay here, and then when they're traveling around, he could do his open mic and stuff. So yeah, in the long run, it benefits the hell out of him, and I guess his side passion.
And I think he might think that comedy's gonna be more of his number one passion, and wrestling is kind of like that secondary now.
Yeah,
because he's a lot older, and I don't think he really cares about being a champion anymore. I mean, if the opportunity presented himself, sure, he'll go for it. But if he doesn't get a title match, I don't think he's gonna be upset. I think he'll be content with where he's at.
Yeah, and then his wrestling style, I mean, because he sells, like almost oversells, and from what history showed us, is guys that do that tend to get like fucked up. So he can be thinking he's one bump away from not being able to step in the ring. So if he brushes up on his stand up, I mean, that's that.
So yeah, that was Fast Lane. It was not a lot of people were really hyped about it. It was not a bad show.
It wasn't. It was like too much of a safe show. My beef with Fast Lane was that we know Nakamura won the Rumble, and he already called out AJ. People were super hyped for that. So it's just kind of like, it made me not... I was like, all right, there is no fucking way AJ's not going to retain the title, because this Nakamura Styles match... It's a
dream match.
Yeah. It's happened, but like not on American soil. And like this match has to happen. Like in my head, it has to happen. You can't skip out. So when I saw this weird deal, I was just like, AJ's either going to retain it, or something's going to happen where AJ's going to retain it, like on SmackDown or some bullshit. But
well, they teased it last year for Money in the Bank because they were both in the match, and they had a little small spot, and everybody was just hyped for it. I remember that. But it's going to be pretty cool, come WrestleMania. There's a lot of good matches.
Do they have a title match for Raw set up?
It's Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
Oh. Wait, how far along is it? It's usually the first week of April, so 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we're like 3 weeks away.
Okay, then that's enough time to build them. Because I'm just kind of like, fuck, is that too early to be setting shit up? But no, they're on time.
The SmackDown side has finally finalized some of their matches now. Because they really didn't have any matches for Mania yet. But there's a few matches set up now, and
I got a couple weeks where they can kind of build something. Get some for the old, what's it called? The hype package thing.
Yeah. So it looks pretty interesting. Yeah, everybody's talking about the Brock and Roman, how they don't want to see Roman Reigns main event Mania for like the 20th time. I like Roman Reigns. I don't hate him.
I stopped caring about it. At first I was like, oh, that motherfucker. But now I'm just kind of like, yeah, fuck it. He exists, and he's not going anywhere. They can't make him full heel but it's just kind of like I'm the dog or my yard, not. But I don't know. He's man, the potential they had when he started saying all that shit after he beat Taker, like that was kind of when I was like, all right,
He's gonna
all
finally
right.
turn, and he never did. You
Yeah.
know.
And I was kind of hoping they did, because then if he would have turned, then I probably would have been like a fan. I don't know. I just like I kind of feel like I like heels more than faces, but
There's some good heels that are really good at it.
well, it's people that are good at it, like the Miz.
I think he's like the top notch. He's top 5 heels.
I want to say if you're actually gonna break down like ring work and all that stuff, like he's probably one of the top guys. Period.
I think so.
Like the dude's like he goes in 100% on what he's doing, and like he's like sells his gimmick like perfectly. Like the dude is like almost like worth more than whatever the heck they're paying him. Like he does deserve a bigger push, and I think he has the potential to do it. Like give him the fucking title again. I think he can handle it.
He's really good. I hope he stays with the Intercontinental Championship.
I think that's a perfect
to
title
beat
for him,
the streak. You know, to beat the record of consecutive title holds.
I remember Jericho had it, but I think someone broke it.
It's a Miz. Well, the Miz is gonna break it.
Oh,
he
so
has. I think at Mania or a day after Mania, the streak will be broken by the Miz. But
I think was it Jericho that held this? I know Jericho held a.
he did for a minute, but somebody else took over,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't know who. It was.
Santino Marella.
I don't think so. That's a funny joke. I took you serious.
Nah, but I remember Jericho had one. Then someone broke it. It was probably someone like Roman, like one of those guys. Maybe Dean, because Dean had the title for a while, didn't he?
He had it. I want to say like 6 months, 8 months.
Because I remember seeing him with the white kind of leather belt, and I thought that was pretty cool. Is Dean back?
Not yet.
No? Okay,
No.
I was just curious. I haven't seen him chewing his gum.
Yeah, he hasn't been. He won't be back till probably like Survivor Series.
Oh, shit. So he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, this is like a 9-month thing, and I think he hurt himself right in December, right?
I think so. It was around that time.
He might be back, maybe like SummerSlam, maybe. But he's out for a while. I kind of miss him too, but I'm kind of glad he's not on right now.
I'm glad he's not, but he's kind of. I didn't mind seeing him because he is the closest kind of X Factor wrestler. Like you don't know too much. Like, oh, is he gonna? And then you hear his music, and he gets a nice little pop. And
I hate his theme song.
Is it? Oh yeah.
I hate his theme song.
Doesn't it start off with the bike?
No.
No, that's I'm thinking of someone else.
That's Baron Corbin, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Baron Corbin.
Which I liked.
No, I think Dean does have it, because I think Dean did a promo where he talked shit to Baron Corbin because he's like, "Oh, you got a new song and you copied my my
Intro package.
intro, like little thing." I thought it was him, but I could be mistaken. But I didn't mind seeing him just because he had like his character is it's like I'm trying to think, like almost like just a topping. Like he's just when he's there and like when shit's going down, and he's just an extra little sprinkle on whatever. Like so, I think he just fits. And you can almost fit him in any kind of situation, and it just kind of adds a little bit. I think he has that ability to kind of just bring something up a little bit. Like if you're there's a match going on here, but what can we add to it? Oh, add fucking what's his face?
Let's throw in Dean Ambrose,
and he'll be in there. Oh, I'm here to fight anyone. I don't care. But. Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't realize he was out for that much long.
There's that one thing that I hate that he does, where like if someone like if they attack him and he like goes back into the ropes, he goes through the ropes,
the middle,
and
rope.
then uses that as his thing. And I don't know if I I hate it, but I like it at the same time. It's like okay,
no one does it except for him, but it's almost like no one can do it except for him. That's one of those little things. Too.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's a little thing, but. I know what you mean. Sometimes you see it and you're like, okay.
What the
fuck? So yeah.
But
I guess he's gonna be out for a while. Shit, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, he's what is it, like the rotator cuff or something like that?
Shoulder
with his elbow.
Oh, elbow.
Yeah. So or it's his shoulder. I don't know what it's one of the two, but it's a pretty big injury. So yeah, the Shield is kind of like one of those what do they call those? The curses.
Oh,
When they brought it back, because first Roman Reigns got sick, they couldn't do a pay-per-view, and then you got Seth Rollins, who was kind of injured.
Seth is now getting that weird
He's
deal
getting
with Angle's kid.
not no more.
Unquote.
The kid's he's hurt too.
I saw he got hurt. He got hurt on that pay-per-view.
Yeah,
On Fast Lane. Yeah.
no, not Fast Lane. He got hurt at
Was it a regular
Rumble.
Was it a Rumble?
It's Rumble when they had the tag team champions.
Oh, it was, because I was like, what the fuck's he doing?
Where he faked that, where he gets that tag in, and then he's like, oh, I can't perform because he hurt himself, so he like tags back Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins literally just got his ass beat.
Yeah, where he was like just sitting there.
And then, yeah, so he pretty much ditches him, and yeah, so he hurts himself too. I can't think of his name either. Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid name.
JJ. Another double J.
I don't like that Jason Jordan name. It's kind of stupid.
Jason Angle. Come on, dude. So go full in with the gimmick.
J. But yeah, he's hurt too. He's hurt his neck.
Like real or?
Yeah, in real.
Shit.
Like I guess he had like tingling sensation. He couldn't like get a full grip. And so yeah, he's out for Mania as well. And then, so it's basically Seth Rollins.
All right, well, fuck this.
And he's had some great matches. I don't know if you heard about this, but a few weeks ago on Raw, they did a, I don't know what it is, but it's like 5 on, like, what is it? They were hyping up the Elimination Chamber. So, this one, instead of being random,
yeah,
some of them got to be picked by how long they lasted in a 5 match. What is it called when they go 1-on-1, they beat that guy, and then they get another opponent, and whoever lasts the 5th round.
Oh, I know what match style you're talking about, yeah.
So anyways, it started off with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to start the match, and Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns. Anyways, Seth Rollins goes on for I think he goes almost 2 hours on Raw, fighting one fight.
Oh, shit.
Which is the longest fight in WWE history on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of the Iron Man, and he's really hot right now, especially with the Rumble. He was Iron Man.
Yeah,
him and Finn Balor. It was Finn Balor who was Iron Man, but Seth Rollins lasted a long time too.
Are there any? I thought I saw some Finn plans.
He's in the Intercontinental Championship with Finn. It's Finn, Seth Rollins, and The Miz.
I feel like those guys should be going up for the world title instead of Intercontinental. But they got the big dogs.
It's his yard.
But no, that sounds interesting. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to that. I hope it is a triple threat. Is it a triple threat?
It is triple threat.
Okay, then that's going to be pretty dope. I think that should be a good fight. Balor's interesting because they just buried the demon gimmick.
Yeah.
That doesn't even exist anymore. That kind of sucks because I thought that was unique.
Well, he uses it part-time. He never really used it full time. Like he would only bring it out.
I thought
like special matches
in NXT. He
had it for a while here and there, but it wasn't full time.
I don't know. I like the demon gimmick. I actually like it. Was just because there was the demon gimmick. Like no one was doing stuff like that. Really, they kind of got away from.
Hasn't been done since kind of like Mick Foley, when he had his
the Boogeyman.
Alter Eagles and stuff like that. The Boogeyman, yeah, you're right.
Well, Boogeyman was like a full gimmick though, but Mick Foley did have his alter egos of like
Dude Love and
Cactus
Mankind.
Jack. But yeah,
you don't see the wrestlers have
Corporate Kane.
Yeah, okay, we'll give you that one. That's true.
God, I'm so glad I stopped watching around that time. When I saw him wearing like a suit thing, I was like, "What the hell?" No,
and he's smiling.
I think I'm still not watching this. That's good. I don't know. I like that Balor was getting. Oh, what I was gonna say about Balor's, his entrance is like really good. He's one of those guys that like, I want to like him, but sometimes like at least the last couple times I watched some of his matches, I'm just like, like he doesn't. They're not as entertaining as I would like them to be. But maybe that's just me being picky.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm interested. I still kind of want to see Finn do something.
I wanted to see him get a respectable, because he had the world title.
He did, and he never got a rematch.
And what sucks is when he came back, like that's when he should have got it. That's when he should have like kind of they should have taken advantage of it. Because by now I think everyone's already forgot. unless Balor
He
mentioned it.
he
I don't
mentions
remember,
it here and there. He goes, "I still never got my title shot." I don't know. I'm not a good
Right, Irishman.
Irishman. Yeah. Well, English, whatever he is. But
Oh, he's from somewhere over
but
there.
anyways, yeah, he never got his title shot. His rematch clause. Imagine what would happen if he never got injured. You know, obviously he's gonna lose that title a few times, but would he still be kind of like buried, or would he still have that same pop as he did in the beginning of this call up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe buried, but I don't know.
You think so?
Yeah.
Vince don't like the little guys.
No, he doesn't, and he doesn't like Christian's face.
Yeah, the blue dot. That was
Um,
crazy.
All right, we've been talking about wrestling for a while,
So much.
I
So
think
much.
we should shift a little bit. Black Panther. No segue into that. But let's just talk about it. We both seen it. You've seen it more times than I have. So
I'll see it again.
my take was at first I watched it and I thought it was good, but the thing was there was so much little social media drama with like the fake beat up accounts, like, oh, I want to go watch Black Panther, but I got beat up because I'm white. Kinda, all that fake stuff.
I never saw that. That's funny.
You didn't?
No, that's funny.
Oh man,
That's funny.
It was all over the place. I remember seeing like people like,
I got
oh, this
beat
is my friend. They went to go see Black Panther and they got rushed by everyone. The most ridiculous one was, I don't think it had any pictures, but it was like, I want to go see Black Panther, and then some black people said this movie's not for you, or something like that, and it was so ridiculous and stupid.
I might have heard about that one.
Anyway, with all that in mind, because you watched it like the weekend of, right?
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah.
I watched it the weekend after it came out. So with all that in mind, I was like, okay, I'm ready for some political shit and all that stuff. So watched the movie. I was entertained. I liked it, but for some reason, walking out of the theater, I was kind of like,
really? Was this hyped?
Yeah, and then I went home, I slept, and I woke up the next day, and after that movie kind of settled.
You
and
did
everything,
the cross. You know, I'm doing this for Wakanda.
Yeah, for Wakanda. As soon as I like kind of just let everything settle in, I realized, it was a good movie, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't mind it at all. Michael B. Jordan tore it up. I think he did fantastic.
I think he did like Ledger-ish.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Heath Ledger-ish type villainous role.
But it was, that's a really good way to describe it, because when Ledger was the Joker, you almost wanted to root for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were just sold.
Yeah, because he had he saw the world this way, and he thought he was in the right.
Yeah.
And this is the same with Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. He's like, oh well, if I was a Black Panther, if I was the king, I'd help out everybody. I wouldn't hide our technology. What if we had this technology when the Civil Rights Movement? We could have, did this so much for America, for our people.
Yeah.
If we save the world with our things, he thought he was doing right in his views. He thought he was a good guy, and that everybody else is a bad guy because nobody wanted to share their technology with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
They wanted to be in hiding. And T'Challa, he was the original king before Killmonger. He's like, no, we can't be sharing our technology because we don't want, we don't want to like get in between stuff. We want to take care of our own first.
Yeah, and they probably don't want that, like, be killed by their own kind of technology.
Yeah.
You give someone a piece of information, they can modify it,
Mm-hmm.
make it better or whatever. And the next thing you know, you're getting fucked over because you decided you wanted to give them something, and now they're using it against you.
So they both saw
Like
that
love.
they were right. Love too, yeah. But, they both thought like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. This is the way it's supposed to be. The other was the same way,
Yeah.
So there was a lot of undertones, a lot of story in it. Like, if you watch the movie, you kind of have to pay attention a little bit more than watching, like, an Iron Man or, the Guardians of the Galaxy, But I thought Black Panther was one of the great movies.
It was. It wasn't just like an action flick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was really well paced
And
well put together.
Watching it the second time, you get to notice these small little cookies, the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the beginning of the movie, there's a poster of Public Enemy in the room where they like stash the guns. There's like a poster of Public Enemy. It's like, shout out to Public Enemy. They would have loved this. But it's a good movie. It's a great movie. I I've only seen it twice, and I always said to myself, if I see it one more time, that's the last time I'll ever see it. Because you can, for me, I get bored really easily.
Yeah.
I'll see a movie once, and I'm like, all right, I'm good with it. I'll see it twice. All right, that should probably been too much. But if I see it the third time, it's like, you know what? I'm never gonna watch this movie ever again.
I go through my kind of modes. Like I've watched Pulp Fiction a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
well, there's movies, yeah, where I'll see like a million times. But there's movies where like, if I think too great of them, I will try not to watch them because I don't want to.
You don't want to get tired of it.
I don't want to ruin the legacy of it. Like, oh, that movie was alright. I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I used to watch fucking Boondock Saints all the damn time, and now I kind of don't care to watch anymore. It's like, all right, okay, I've seen it.
I don't want to diminish its value.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cult classic, at least for Boondocks. But the same thing with that is like if you watch it too much, yeah, you kind of like, because
it was alright.
Then you got people like me that are like super excited. You're not excited, bro? Like, now I've seen it 5 times.
Just give Justice League a chance, bro.
I might give. I don't.
But you haven't seen it yet, have you?
What, Justice League?
Yeah, I thought you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, we did.
It was all right. I didn't mind it.
It was better than what people were bashing.
I think people were just. I don't know what the heck they demand. I really don't know what the average movie watcher like.
I think they always try to compare it to like, the Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises, and, the Batman Begins. I think they try to, because Batman Begins just happened, 2005? So it hasn't even been a little bit more than 10 years.
Yeah.
So you're trying to compare this Batman to that Batman.
Oh,
it's a separate universe, you know what I mean?
And there still hasn't been that generational gap to where people can refresh, like.
Because people appreciate the Tim Burton Batmans,
Keaton,
the Michael Keatons, and I thought, I think those were good ones. And then we didn't get any until 2005 for the next set.
Yeah, because you got that.
Well, we had the Joel Schumacher one. There was a Batman Begins with, the Iceman.
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger. But, there was a little lag. There was a little lag time,
Yeah.
And now you had the Batman Begins from Batman Forever. That was like, 10, 12 years?
Yeah, it was a pretty good gap.
I mean, it's a pretty good gap. I don't know what. I guess it's the same for this one.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics.
But for the last, the Dark Knight Rises, that was 2011, 2012-ish, around that time. Maybe 2014 at the most.
I want to say no. I think you're on the right track.
So somewhere in the early teens of the 2000s. So that's still not even 7 years.
Yeah. So
people are still fresh off of the what's the guy's name that made those Batman universe?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. Thank you. But they're too close. If you did Justice League maybe in 2020, it might be a little bit better,
that
receptive.
Kind of, reminds me because that kind of hasn't worked out for Spider-Man either.
Yeah, because Spider-Man, they just had the Amazing Spider-Man 2014.
And then the Tobey Maguire movies, when were those made?
Tobey Maguire's, I think the last one was 2010-ish.
Yeah.
And then they had the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. 2014, and then you got the new one, the Amazing Spider-Man, that just happened 2017. You got to give these superheroes a break.
Yeah, they're just not letting them breathe at all. They're just like, oh shit, we fucked it up. All right, let's reboot.
And then I think these TV shows, like the Arrow and the Jessica Jones, and then what's the other one? There's a couple of them on Netflix.
Red Devil, I know is on there.
Red Devil, where's that black guy? I can't think of his name.
I was gonna say the Punisher, right?
There's Punisher as well, and then there's another one, Luke Cage. Is it Luke Cage?
Something like that. I know. I
think it's Luke. But anyways, they're kind of shooting for the B superheroes. They're not trying to make the next Superman. They're not trying to make the next Batman.
Yeah.
They're trying to get on these side superheroes, so that makes those shows better because people don't really know about these superheroes. Unless you're a comic head. You know what I mean? I didn't know about Green Arrow that much.
I remember seeing them, pictures and stuff, but I just never got too into them.
And I think the Arrow show is really good.
Oh yeah, I used to watch it.
Really
I kind of slowed down. Deathstroke on that show is fucking awesome.
He's back on there.
Good, because
is he the one with the light? Right.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. He's not back.
No, he's with the mask, right? The one
with the green and orange or black.
Yeah. He was around.
Is he Deathstroke or that's
uh,
Deathstroke? No, or Deathstroke's the one with the laser eye, right?
no, that's Deathstroke. He's Deathstroke.
Okay, I'm lost.
I think you're thinking of
Because there's
um,
Deathstroke and then there's
Deadpool, which
no,
is
no, no, not Deadpool. I know that one, but there's another one. There's Deathstroke, and there's the one. What's I forgot his name, but there's two of them in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But he was pretty good, and there's one in there again. He's back. If he was in season 1,
Deathstroke.
okay, then that's him.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
It's the
back.
one from,
I'm sorry.
so-
Yeah,
No, yeah, and
he,
I like the actor that played him, and I thought it was
that Manu Bennett. He's like a big guy. Yeah.
he
Okay,
was in
that's him.
Spartacus. He kicked ass in Spartacus. He was a bad guy in Spartacus, and he was a dick. And I was really wanted to see him get killed off. I won't spoil whether he did or didn't. But,
Thank God, because I haven't seen the show.
a lot of nudity,
Okay.
like a lot, and it was unfortunate. Not to get too deep in that show, the lead actor to the show actually passed away before they can film, I think, the second or third season.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to get a replacement actor. And just kind of, I don't think the show recovered after that. Like,
It kind of never does when you lose a.
Yeah, I think once they lost the main guy, that was kind of it, and people stopped paying it. Because that's the same thing that happened with me. Was I watched that season, I'm just kind of like, and I think they kind of recognized that, so they didn't keep the show going.
But yeah, like going back to, I mean, if you give these superheroes, you give these main guys a break, you're gonna like have a better reception later on. I mean,
so.
if you look at Deadpool was great because there wasn't a movie of Deadpool before. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you had all these Spider-Mans, Batman, Supermans, Catwoman. There's 2 Catwoman movies before there was a Deadpool. But you know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, we still got a little bit of time, depending on how long you want to go. We're the 51st minute mark. Any NFL free agency stuff to talk about?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a lot of big names.
Or just kind of just the brief stuff, I suppose. We're like here on crunch time, and I really want to shower.
we're filming this late at night.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. For me, the big thing is one of the big news is Seattle Seahawks just getting rid of everybody.
Yeah, it was kind of needed, just because I think people gave me shit about Richard Sherman. Ooh, you guys lose, and I even have that jersey of Sherman's.
I hate when people are burning it.
I'm not gonna burn it.
I hate burning that jersey.
The way I see it is Sherman was at his best in Seattle, and I think he will always be recognized for what he's accomplished in Seattle. So I'm like not upset with the move. And on top of that, if you're a Seahawks fan, you got to realize that they figured him out. Like, they know how to pass in his direction, and he's no longer the threat that he used to be.
Because he got figured out. Everybody gets figured out eventually.
So now that we know the flaw to his game, I thought last season, he's going to adjust it. But from what I saw, there was a couple plays where I was just kind of like, fuck, he's not doing anything about his flaw. So him being gone is not too upsetting. It sucks. I mean, LOB was fun. It was a fun couple years, but I'm not too upset. And I think our defense probably does need a shakeup. Our offense, I think, just needs pieces.
But you're losing the pieces too. You know, Jimmy Graham's gone.
I can live without Graham, because Wilson to Wilson is still probably the go-to combo.
But Graham was a better blocker, and you need a line. And Luke Wilson's not a possession player. He's easily covered. Yeah, he has his catches here and there, but as a starting tight end, you lose those free breakaway plays. Because now that you're a starting tight end,
Graham is just huge too, man. And I like seeing when he got the ball because that guy would just stride.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Kind of funny to watch.
I liked him. You know, he's a good tight end. I'm not like throwing shade at him. My thing is, it kind of makes the division a little bit more at ease now, because you have Seattle, who's basically going into a rebuild mode.
Yeah, we are.
You have the Cardinals, who are in rebuild mode. And you have the 49ers, who are kind of building up to have some pieces figured out, but they're in the rebuild. They're kind of like in the advanced. They're in the advanced settings. You know, they're like, okay, we're in phase 3.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
And you got, I want to say Cardinals is in phase 1. Seattle's barely turning on the phases, so they're barely starting into rebuild.
And you have the Rams that are like
Rams. They're set. They have a few good plays, and they have a few good players. They might take the division again this year.
They have the chemistry, man, and they have their style of play. They know who they are. And
they're all young too, which is crazy. But my thing is, Seattle hit that rebuild mode, so that kind of gives 49ers and the Cardinals a little bit more breathing. Like, all right, let's take a breath. We don't have to really try to do it all in 1 year. Now that Seattle was stepped down, now we could take our time building up that team. So now you have 3 teams that are trying to build up, but they could take their time to building up. They're not planning on winning this year. That's their goal to win
ideally,
yeah. But they're like, okay, well, if Seattle's not going to do it and 49ers are not at that level yet, we could take our time. We don't necessarily need that quarterback today. If we could get in the next round, in the next year, the year after, we'll wait a couple years for that quarterback.
Yeah.
So that kind of kills your division right there.
It does. Any Philadelphia news?
Yeah, we got Michael Bennett.
And I think you guys get some rings this year now to the guys.
Yeah, we're gonna get that championship ring.
If they end, you guys are getting Bennett.
Yeah, we got him.
I think the Eagles are just flying high. If they play this season, I want to watch them because watching them was fun last year.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind watching their games, and everyone kept laughing at me when I kept saying when they made playoffs, and I said the Eagles are playing scary football.
Mm-hmm.
People kept laughing at me because I kept saying scary football.
I probably even would have laughed at you as an Eagles fan.
And sure enough, I think I got the last laugh at the end because by the time they made it to the Super Bowl, aside from the actual bowl itself, those guys were playing scary fucking football.
Mm-hmm. The defense was great. I mentioned that all 4 teams that were left in that division, that the final 4 teams were all top 5 defense. But yeah, you probably were behind the Eagles more than I was in the beginning of preseason or postseason when they were going into
the way they were playing. I don't see why anyone would have ruled them out. I was like, I
did because remember Nick Foles had the last bad 3 games, and I didn't believe in the Eagles until when they played the Vikings,
mm-hmm.
and I watched that game with my friend because he's a big Vikings fan, and I was like, all right, I remember we made a little wager. I was like, okay, I think we're going to win by 3 points. It'd be 24-21.
Yeah.
And we just blew the doors out.
Oh, yeah, it was a murder.
And that's when I was during the second, third, fourth quarter, I was like, all right, these guys are legit. I don't know what I was thinking before, the playoffs started.
Yeah.
But I think these guys got it. And when it was a Super Bowl week, I remember making my predictions. I hate making predictions, by the way. But my boss was like, oh, what are your scores, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I think we're going to win by 3 points. It'll be 24-27 again.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the end of the week, I was like, you know what? I'm confident we're going to win by 10 points at least.
Yeah, I remember because I think our predictions were around that, 2 scores.
Mm-hmm. And I was
touchdown, a field goal kind of deal.
I was like, I'm pretty sure the Eagles are going to win at least 10 points, by 10 points. And they were leading, double scores throughout till fourth quarter. And then they ended up winning by 8. But the Eagles had that game pretty much,
Yeah.
They had an answer for everything. They weren't afraid of fourth downs. They went for it.
Yeah, it was just a fun Super Bowl. That is what the NFL wants, the
mm-hmm.
casual kind of fans, and it was just fun to watch.
So yeah, it's interesting that we got a coach that he's not afraid to pull. Hey guys, we're gonna go do this because I believe in you.
Yeah.
He's a young quarterback. A young coach. It's his second year, going into his third year now, this new season. But you don't see second-year coaches be like, all right, we're going to go for on fourth down in the second quarter. Or we're going to do a QB pass catch, in the freaking Super Bowl. They did it with Brady, but they perfected it,
God, Brady. The funniest thing was Bill Burr saying Brady looks like a good quarterback in the pocket. He looks like a young quarterback in the pocket until he starts to run.
Yeah.
And then he just looks like an old man. He's just started. That's it.
So I'm excited for the Eagles. Our defensive line, we lost Vinny Curry on the inside. So the plan was to get Michael Bennett because Vinny Curry was coming off a contract year, so he's gonna want the money, and it's probably a safe bet to get Michael Bennett because he had 2 years left on his contract. So letting Vinny Curry go and having Michael Bennett, we're saving some money there,
Right.
because Vinny Curry, he's gonna demand a lot of money. He was a good player, and shout out to him going. I think he went to I want to say the Colts, but I might be wrong. But shout out to Vinny Curry. Michael Bennett, he's a great player. I don't know if he's gonna have that play like he did in Seattle.
That impact.
That impact, he was the guy, right?
Yeah.
He was a voice for the defense. Was it him and Cam Chancellor?
Yeah, him and Cam.
They were both the Iron Man,
Bennett's kind of can get kind of.
He's a hothead.
So expect a couple offsides.
I don't blame it,
but he's a very passionate player. I mean,
yeah, I'll take his passion over anything.
So, I think he's going to be a good addition.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we got plenty of time for the season to start, and there's going to be a lot more moves to talk about. And to end the cast, are you hyped about Fortnite?
I finally started playing because I haven't played.
Oh, you actually played?
I haven't played video games since last year. It's been a while since I've actually went on my PlayStation 4, and I played last Friday. I played a few rounds with my brother. He was kind of showing me. He was one of those Fortnite haters, and here I got him to play more Fortnite.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun. I get it. My coworkers all talk about it. You hear about it everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, Fortnite this, Fortnite that, and
I see it on Twitter all the time. I follow gamers on Twitter, and trust me, I see
it's everywhere
all the time.
It's fun. It's the way it's set up. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I had the game on my PS4 for a while. Uninstalled it. I'm just more of a PUBG guy. Same idea, kind
of. What's PUBG?
PUBG was before Fortnite. So it's the same thing, a battle royale style game. So the exact same concept. In fact, I think the PUBG guys got a little angry when Fortnite decided to do it because it was so similar. Like I said, if I show you gameplay footage right now,
you think it's the same game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except less cartoony. So you're in a plane to start off PUBG, you land, and then there's no crafting, but you can find weapons laying around, guns and all this stuff, and you put on armor, and then you just go around killing each other. There's a storm, it starts closing in. I actually like the storm in PUBG a little bit more than the Fortnite one, and just encourages combat. PUBG has vehicles.
Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
But I don't know. I just kind of prefer the PUBG game over Fortnite. But I think where Fortnite does it right and where it was really big on them and smart was they decided to make the Battle Royale free. So you can now download it on any Xbox, PS4,
you
PC.
You can do it on your phone now.
Oh, yeah. I just saw that today, yeah. And it's free on all the platforms. PUBG still only PC. And Xbox, but the Xbox version sucks apparently. Like, I guess it's really glitchy.
Now, is this true that you could play cross-platforms with Fortnite? I heard you could play PC and...
Probably PC and Xbox.
And I think there was one for PlayStation, because I was talking to a guy. He was like, oh, what are you playing on? I'm like, oh, PlayStation. I was like, oh, well, there's few guys that are in here that are computer. And because they build faster and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if they cross-platform, because I know PlayStation and, what is it, Twitch? Or is it Steam? I think it's Twitch, right?
PlayStation and Steam, had a weird little partnership going, but they never really got anything kind of off the ground. Since Microsoft is not looking so hot for this game console generation, like the PS4 tore it up. And at this point, the PlayStation has more exclusive games and stuff like that. Xbox is just still pumping out Halo and like Gears of War.
They're kind of riding off on those coattails.
So and I think people know that. So the people who have Xbox Ones right now are just a hardcore fan base. But I mean, if you look at the numbers, Sony just tore it up. Like they're doing really good. So Microsoft became a lot more friendly with PC, with Nintendo a little bit, I think, for the Rocket League deal. And they even openly said, "Oh, we've open letter to Sony. We're ready to have you guys crossplay with us." I think Sony either didn't comment or said something about. I think they didn't comment, but they commented later on saying, we're trying to see what our best moves would be, and we're always looking to explore different game experience, blah blah blah. Basically, just saying right now that's not going to happen, and it's because Sony doesn't need it to happen. Like, they're doing fine.
They don't need nothing. It's the Xbox who would really need. They have something more to play.
Microsoft, I think, would benefit more from crossplay.
Like PlayStation they don't have anything to prove.
No, they don't.
Xbox needs this.
Yep. So yeah, Sony, and I think someone was complaining, why the fuck doesn't Sony just do that? Because when I get on PS4, and I told them they don't have to.
Like, they don't need it. Yeah.
They're absolutely fine where they're at. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it either because it can potentially hurt them. It can potentially, but no, they don't have to. But that's the big thing with Fortnite too. You can play it on anything. And there might be some crossplay stuff, but I'm not too positive. I don't play it too frequently, but it's a fun game. I'm not gonna say it sucks.
And it's free,
Yeah, it's free. It's a fun game. I was just more of a PUBG guy, and then I'm looking forward to Far Cry 5.
Are you?
Yeah.
That comes out this month, right?
Yep. I think this or next week, and you can play the whole campaign co-op with one other person, and that's what I'm super stoked for.
My thing about it is, I liked Far Cry. What is it, 3?
Yeah.
And then 4 was okay, but
4 was alright. Yeah.
I do kind of like the concept of this one. They're trying to go, religious, like
cult
religion.
Yeah, Montana.
Yeah, I kind of like it, but I don't know if it's gonna be the same type of game.
Oh, it is. They're getting rid of the mini map. They don't want people, and I kind of agree with this. They don't want people to look down at the bottom of the screen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there will still be a map when you push start or whatever. But while you're playing, they want to get rid of the screen so people
don't you take into more.
Yeah, people are more encouraged to try and remember stuff a little bit more and roads and stuff. I mean, I'm still gonna probably press pause like a motherfucker, but they're adding airplanes, so I guess the map's supposed to be pretty huge.
Oh, nice.
I'm really, like I said, I'm more pumped for the co-op because there's one guy I play with on PlayStation, and we're both kind of like, all right, we're both getting it, like formed a pack. We're both getting it. We're gonna take out these religious cults, motherfucker. So, but yeah, I don't know. We could talk more about game shit, I guess, next podcast. But for now, we're a little over an hour. I think we're doing good. Good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And my shoulder's killing me. I need more booze. The numbs pain. All right. Well, it was fun being back.
Yes.
I'm kind of glad we are because now I feel more comfortable with getting back in the groove of it. So
yeah, we were gone, and plus when we were gone, there was not that much content going around, anyways. You know,
not much to talk about.
So, it was nice having that little 3-week vacation. But we'll be back at it again. We'll probably do another one this week.
Yeah. Hopefully. I am driving down to Oregon for work, but usually I come back in time to record.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this sums up this one, guys. I am Dave Vito. I forgot to introduce myself right at the beginning.
Oh, they should know who we are by now.
By voice. All right, I'm out.
Latest.